Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's sessions, Do's and Don'ts you must follow while writing the UPSC Civil Services Prelims 2024. Many of you are preparing for this examination since last 1 year, 2 years, and in some cases more than 3 years too. The prelims examination is an entry point because if you qualify the prelims, then you will go to the mains, and if you qualify the mains, you will go to the interview. Even though it is a qualification exam, the filtration percentage was very high. Close to 4 lakhs people will sit for their examination, and hardly 12 to 15,000 aspirants will reach to the mains examination. So this is an entry level, and you need to give a lot of attention to write this prelims examination. Many aspirants, they will think that they should have a lot of knowledge and they should have a lot of facts in their mind to clear this examination. Of course, to some extent that is true, but that's not enough to clear the prelims examination. So from my personal experiences, from the experience of the various aspirants, we are coming forward with few important things you must remember while attempting this examination. The first and foremost thing is, it's not about on the day of the exam. It's about before day of the exam also. You must be in the right state of mind. So if you have any kind of the practice like a regular exercise, you can go through it before day. And if you don't have that kind of habit, don't make it now. So just you can go for a small yoga meditation session so that your body and mind will be relaxed. From the day before the examination, the food quantity, whatever you are taking, and the quality of the food must taken into the consideration. So you try to take only the healthy food so that your brain and your physical strength will be at the right par to allow you to think 100% in the examination. So my suggestion was, not only on the day of the prelims exam, before day is very much crucial for you. So make sure that you should be mentally and physically ready while attempting this examination on the next day. And second thing is, don't go for too many things in the last rush. Hardly you can pick up one or two weak points, weak areas of your side, and just try to see some quick revision facts. If something is very new to you, which is not relevant till now, so don't go through it. Just follow the basic revision. And don't try to spend too much time in the reading also. Hardly you can spend 6 to 8 hours, and that's all. So just be relaxed, be calm, have a good music if you like, have a good dance show. Please watch a dance show if you like it, but don't take too much tension and pressure. So your mind will play a lot of important role on the day of the examination. And make sure that many of the aspirants have butterflies in their stomach before writing the examination. Some people, they don't even sleep on the before day. It might be anxiousness, it might be they may feel that the day is coming because that's what they dreamt for in the last few years. So all these butterflies will go in our stomach, but still we need to control those butterflies because the day of the examination is very much important. And try to have a proper sleep, and try to sleep alone, not with friends or family on that day at least, and have a 6 hours of sleep. If not possible, at least a 5 hours of good sleep. Sound sleep is much required. And on the day of the examination, uh, make sure that all the basic items are available, including your hall ticket, ID card, if you want any kind of the other stuff. So make sure that it should be ready, because you can carry some of the things to the examination hall, provided that it should not carry anything. So like water bottles, they should not have any labels or marks in that. You can take those type of water bottles also. So as the examination is happening in the summer, so my suggestion was just carry a water bottle, even though some of the examinations and most of the examination centers, they are providing water these days, but as a precautionary measure, you can bring your own water bottle. So please reach to the examination center at least 1 hour before to the set time. So which means that if the examination is at 10 to 12 o'clock, be at the examination hall at least by 8 o'clock. So I am feeling that 9 o'clock should be the better time, but still try to be at the examination hall at least by 8:30, especially if you're in the metropolitan city. So make sure that your travel arrangement in such a way that you should reach to the examination hall at least before 1.5 to 2 hours, and you please stay there to wait for you to allow you to enter into the examination hall. So even at that point of time, my suggestion was don't speak to anyone. So be in your own zone and try to mug up some facts or try to revise some facts if it is possible, because analysis questions anyway, there is no meaning to see at this point of time. So but if you have a problem with some historical what we can say, some facts like history or some facts like economy, if you want to see, and go for it, just have a look and glance it. Don't try to memorize and just here and there, don't look for anything, just have a glance in that. So that's all. So before 1 hour of the examination, because the exam starts at 10 o'clock, from the 9 o'clock, just close everything, switch off your brain, just focus on what is required, how you should enter into the examination hall, only focus on that. So go to the examination hall and so sit in the relaxed position. Don't try to observe too much about the invigilator, your colleagues, or the fellow mates who came to write the examination, the infrastructure, not required actually, because our brain was too sharp. It can try to go all the way around the world, even though you're about to write the very difficult examination. So try to control yourself, be in your zone, don't talk to anyone, don't bother about infrastructure of the building where you are taking the examination, don't see about the colleagues and don't see about the invigilator, don't concentrate on anything, just wait for the question paper to be given and just prepare your mind to approach it. So once if it is over, the basic formalities will be given. So you will be given the different things to fill the form, and the OMR sheets will be given. So carefully fill the OMR sheet and wait for the question paper to be given. So once the question paper was given to you and once the time starts, first you check whether all the questions are printed properly in the question paper or not. So that will take hardly 20 seconds to you. So once it is over, once if the question paper is ready, if the question paper is in the right order, so then you can start to read the question papers. Now here there is a trick. Here we have 100 questions and you have 120 minutes. Hardly you may get a minute and 10 seconds or 15 seconds to write to answer one question. So by this time, there are many strategies out there to go for it. But I will tell the best strategy as far as my knowledge and the different aspirants' feedback. First of all, don't try to look for your favorite subject questions. So generally the question paper arranged in such a way that most of the time history questions are at one place, polity questions are at one place, science and technology questions are at one place. This is how the question paper was set. So even though there are differences, but that does not matter. But most of the questions are same. The pattern of arranging of the questions are also same. Most of the time, subject questions, same subject questions or will be at one place. Sometimes history. So your question paper may starts with history. Your next set may the question starts with polity. But most of the time, I'm not saying 100% it should be arranged like that. But most of the time, the in the question paper, it was arranged in such a way that the subject one subject will be followed the other subject. So most of the aspirants, they will do that. They like history a lot. So they will go to the history questions and they will answer all the history questions. After that, they will try to see. But my suggestion was don't try to do that. So what you can do is take the first question. So just read the question. Now, if you read any question, it will comes under only two aspects. One, you 100% know the answer. Second thing is 100% you don't know the answer. If you know the answer, you just try to answer it straight away and just fill the bubble. There is no question about it. But if you are not sure about the answer to that question, but you heard the topic, you know the topic, but you are not able to draw the conclusion. So just try to star mark for it. So which means that you know the question, but you are not able to answer right now, but the question is in your mind. So go to the next questions and follow the process until the 100 questions. So which means that in the first iteration, you should not waste any time to derive the conclusions, to think about what might be right and what might be wrong. Just first read all 100 questions and you can answer the questions where you are very ascertain. For example, if you know only 20 questions in the first reading, that's fine. You can answer only 20 questions. So we are already said that you know the question and you are very close to the answer, but you are not very sure. You put 1 star for that. The third part of the third type of the questions are, you know the topic, but you are very not sure. Only one options, remaining three options you don't know. So for those questions, you put the 2 star in the first reading itself. So in the first reading, what we have to do is, first one, if you know the answer for sure, just bubble it and complete the question. If you know the answer, if you're expecting this might be the answer, but you are very not sure, just put a 1 star mark. If you know the topic, but if you're not able to draw any conclusion because your mind is not saying any answer, just put the double star. And for sure, if you don't know anything about it, zero knowledge, never heard about those type of things, so then you just leave the topic. Then you try to figure it out how many questions you finish in the first iteration. Hardly, for example, 25 questions, you may know that for sure this might be the answer. In the second iteration, what the advantage for you is the question you already read in the first instance. For the second instance, it look very less time to read the question. So when you read the question, you try to figure it out. You see the options and try to use what we can say, the elimination option or sixth sense option, anything what you feel comfortable, because you have been practicing this previous examination since last 1 year, 2 years, right? So you wrote many mock tests. You know that what is your strength. So based on that strength, you first try to answer based on your logic or based on sometimes even the uh, options will give you clue to pick up the right answer. So those things will finish in the second reading of the question paper. So in the first reading, short questions was answered. In the second reading, for sure, almost all you might have been covered 60% of the questions in the second reading and 20% of the questions in the first reading. So 80% of the questions should be finished in the first two readings. In the third reading, you know that it is very difficult to come to the conclusion, but you know that what is the difficulty level of the paper. So if the paper is too difficult, you know that your preparation standards, right? So if you're prepared very genuinely since last 6 to 8 months, and if you're very sure about length and breadth of this syllabus, then you know the difficulty of the question paper. So we see that the recent cutoffs from the UPSC is quite low even for the general category. So last year, this 2023 cutoff, it was just about 75 to 76 range for the OC candidate. So we know that a very few questions needs to be answered if you want to qualify the examination. So if you feel that the question paper is really difficult, don't try to unnecessarily attempt too many questions. And again, this is a personal choice, because some people will answer all 100 questions and they're able to manage 85 to 90. And some people are in a position, right? So they could answer only 60 questions. For sure, they will get 80 or 90 marks, or sometimes even more than that. So you know your personality better. So don't try to deviate from that personality. Whatever the strategy you followed to clear in your mock test, you apply the same strategy to the main examination also. A main examination means the original prelims examination. So what you do is you must be in a position to come to the questions at least 3 times in that 120 minutes. So 20 to 30 minutes, you just go through the question paper on. So you need time to read the entire question paper. So if you want to read all 100 questions in the first instance, and if you're answering only the questions, you're very sure by the time itself, the 45 to 50 minutes will be over. So it will take, because every questions approximately take minimum 30 to 45 seconds to read the question and to come to the conclusion that this might be the answer. So if you take annual average, if you can take 45 minutes, 45 seconds, altogether 100 questions means 100 into 45 seconds, it is close to 445 seconds for one question, 100 question, 4,500 seconds. So we know that the time was almost a 70% of the time will be over by that time. So make sure that the second reading should be very fast. And third reading, if you have time, it's very, very rare occasions you might have been time for the third reading and fourth reading. Fourth reading, anyway, you must leave the questions because you are not sure about a single point about the topic. So there is no point to touch those things, because unnecessarily you will enter into the negative zone. So try to avoid the questions which you don't listen at least once in your preparation time. So here the time management will be the key, and first reading should be done as fast as you can, and the second reading should be like you should not again think about the questions in the second reading, because already you read the say the same question in the first reading. The second reading you are applying your mind only to get the conclusion, so this what might be the correct answer. So you try to stick only to that. In the third reading, based on the first two readings, if you come to a conclusion that this will be very difficult paper, it is unnecessary to attempt more number of questions, 70 to 75 questions are more than enough, then you try to leave the questions in the third reading. But if you feel that this might be an easy paper, the fellow aspirants also they may score well. If you have that kind of the feeling in the last 20 minutes, you try to attempt in the third iteration some of the questions with your sixth sense, because ultimately some of the people will say that don't think about the level of the question paper, just answer what you know, but that's not how it works. Because you are competing this examination not with yourself. Preparation, of course, you can compete with yourself, but in the examination, you're competing with your fellow and peer group. So you must have an idea about how your peer group will think. There is nothing wrong to judge the question paper, whether it is a difficult or easy or very easy question paper. So by the first reading itself, you will get a conclusion that this might be an easy paper, this might be a difficult paper. So based on that, you try to fix that this will be the number of ideal questions I have to answer. Because if the easy question paper is there, you can go even for the 90 questions to answer. But if it is moderately difficult, you can still go for 85 questions. But if it is too difficult paper, so just think about it to answer how many questions I need to answer, because ideally 75 to 80 questions are good to qualify the examination, because this is not about merit. This is about just qualifying. So during the process of qualification, just because of the negative marking, you should not lose your ground. So if you don't want to lose your ground in the eyes of the negative marking, you must follow a strategy to clear it. So once again, I'm repeating it. So make sure that you try to read the question paper, each and every question in the first reading, and answer only what you know in the first instance. Then the second instance, yes, you try to guess it. In the third instance, based on the difficulty of the paper, you judge how many questions I can answer in the third iteration. Irrespective of whatever the condition is there, I will not recommend to touch any questions what you haven't heard of till now. So this is not a great move to follow in the UPSC prelims examination, because if you are trying to unnecessarily look for those 2 marks, but you are losing 0.33 marks for your correct question. So to avoid that, you please try to remember all these things into the mind. And one more thing is, before you are going to the examination hall itself, make sure that you have a reserve pen with you, and you have a hall ticket, and you have a visible face on that hall ticket. If not, there is an instructions in the hall ticket. If the face is not visible, what should we have to do? So you please make sure that that precautions to be maintained. And during the last week, forget about the before day, during the last week, if it is possible, follow the same kind of the strategy. You may maintain the study hours of 12 hours a day, that's fine, till before the last day, but don't try to unnecessarily interact with your peer group in the last 1 week. So because that was not suggestible, and because by the time, if anybody is talking about anything and if you don't know anything, your mind will think in the several directions. So I don't prefer to do that. In the last 1 week, maintain a good contact to have a casual talk. But for with respect to the subject or this examination, make sure that you should be in isolation mode, and you just carry with your instinct. And in the last 1 week also, don't try to read anything. This examination is not about this prelims examination is not about the merit. It is only about testing your temperament level. Answering 100 questions in 120 minutes, that to these days the question paper is too lengthy. So they want to check your temperament, they want to check your skill, they want to check your a presence of mind in the examination hall. Everything comes into the picture. It's not about only the test of knowledge. The prelims examination is not only about the test of knowledge, it is about some of your personal traits also. So you need to remember that and attempt the examination. right? So just we will try to recall all the things what we told. The first thing is your state of mind on the day of the examination and before day of the examination, and try to maintain an isolation with your peer group, and try to have some kind of yoga before the day, and if possible on the day of the examination also try to calm down yourself. Don't try to think too much. The second thing is after going to the so you reach to the venue at least 1.5 hours before of the examination, if possible 2 hours in the very busy metropolitan cities, and be there. Even at that point of time, don't try to see any of the material which give an analytical answers or analytical analysis to you. Just see the facts and figures. Sometimes the history needs some facts. Sometimes the economy needs some facts. Just brush up it if it is possible. But if you are very confident and if you are not like to read, that's also fine. You just completely observe yourself and be in your zone. So once before you are going to that, make sure that all the things are proper, and you can go to the examination hall. After going to the examination hall, don't try to judge the infrastructure, don't try to judge the seat, don't try to judge the invigilator. That is all unnecessary extra inputs you are giving to your peaceful mind. So the peaceful mind is till now it is thinking about the exam, and now you are giving so many inputs to that. So that performance effect will be there. So don't try to give too many inputs to your brain. And coming to the CSAT examination, this is most trickiest part these days, because most of the people are disqualifying in CSAT because the CSAT difficulty level has been increased since 2018 and 19 years onwards. So one thing is to be very clear, in the CSAT also, now you can segregate the questions. But in the paper one, we clearly told that don't try to see that which section is polity, which section is history. We are suggesting in the paper one to attempt from the question number one. But coming to the CSAT, don't attempt like that. So you can go for your favorite part first. For example, if you are very good in English, go to the English zone. If you're very good in arithmetic, go to the arithmetic zone. If you're very good in reasoning, go to the reasoning zone. Because here you need to get only 66, more than 66.66 marks. If you can cross that mark, you are in the safe zone. So there is no need to compete with your fellow mates. There is no need to think about the difficulty level of the paper. Irrespective of the difficulty of the paper, you must get 66.66 marks. So if you want to get those marks, you try to choose your sections carefully. See the question paper once, go to your favorite portion and give a good time for that and finish those questions. And then second favorite zone, third favorite zone, you can just follow this pattern to answer the questions, because altogether, hardly you know that out of 100 questions, only some hardly 35 questions if you are able to answer, just you are in, just you are crossing. You can observe the GS1 paper cutoff was 75 to 76, and the paper 2 question, the paper 2 set off was 66.66. So paper 1 set off was it depends upon the difficulty of the paper, but the paper 2 cutoff was fixed. Paper 1 cutoff will always fluctuate from year to year, it will fluctuate, but paper 2 is always fixed. So you have to give enough attention. So for the paper 2, you please go to the your favorite portion and just finish off it, because some people are very good in arithmetic, some people are very good in logical reasoning, some people are very good in the English portion. So based on that, you please go through it and finish your section, and after that look for the next favorite sections. In that way you try to finish. So that's all. Broadly, these things you must remember, and I hope all the best for this examination. I am again reiterating that the prelims examination is not the test of your knowledge; it is test of your temperament and personality too. It is about the presence of mind on the day in the examination hall. It will place a lot of important role. Don't try to waste your 1 year, 2 year, 3 years of energy just because of the unorganizedness, unorganized nature in that 2 hours in the examination hall. Make sure that you must be organized, you must be well prepared, and you must be well articulated with respect to your with your personality, because the presence of mind is very much important to qualify the prelims examination. So I wish all the best for the all aspirants, and I hope you will We will again talk like this before the mains examination, what to do in the mains and what not to do in the mains. Thank you so much.